For hosting us today and introducing us. Your program is wonderful, and we've had the pleasure, Danielle and I, of working with 3 people from the business schools, and it's just been a whirlwind situation. We just returned from the United Nations, and we're working, as Aaron said, with the Spirit Initiative through Columbia University and the United Nations. There, we were able to work on peace initiatives. There were 8 different peace initiatives selected, and ours was one of them. You can see our picture here in front of the General Assembly, and here's one of our workshops that we were working with. The Nuts of Peace initiative was developed specifically to utilize economic peace theory in the Gaza Strip. Our vision was to spark a process of change in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict by bringing foreign investment and industry to the Gaza region, but removing Israeli involvement. The area of the Gaza Strip, we had to explain, was a little bit larger than Washington, D.C., but I guess here in Israel we could just say it's roughly the size of the Gaza Strip. About 1.5 million people, why did I just crack myself up? That's pretty bad. 1.5 million people currently occupy the region, and there is an extremely high rate of unemployment. The official estimate is approximately 45%, but it could be much higher than that. 44% of the population is under the age of 14 years old, which poses some great risks. 80% of those live officially below the poverty line.
So as David mentioned, there's a high unemployment rate in the Gaza Strip right now. More than almost 50% of the people there are unemployed, and this causes a very low GDP per capita, as you can see. The Gaza's GDP per capita is 10th of Israel, and like a combination of these factors cause tension and radicalism in the Strip. Thinking about the Spirit Initiative, we thought of a need for an economic roadmap because we believe that the Gaza Strip has a potential to attract investment and create employment for the people there and increase prosperity in the area. We believe that a combination of these 3 things can actually lead to an economic roadmap that will eventually help us achieve a Palestine that will be not only politically but also economically viable. I think this is especially important after Tal's presentation because he raised the question of what we can do as people today to change the situation, and I think our initiative is addressing these issues especially.
Yeah, no, you hear me? Okay, so what we're saying is basically we're bringing a development plan to an area that has known a lot of wars and a lot of politicians that speak over and over again, and it seems that we only go back. So what if we actually talk about the principles that we thought are different and that we can develop or bring to you and to whomever is willing to listen about how we're going to do this. So there are 3 basic subjects. The first one is to say that we believe that the argument is not about the land, but it's about the ability to provide to the families. As a kid, my experience is seeing how the doors are getting shut behind people who's talking specifically here on the Gaza area, and people are not able to go to work and not able to provide to their families. That creates a strong stress. So we must create employment. We must create employment. The second principle is to bring foreign investment to remove the Israeli involvement. If you think about it for a second, Israel and Palestine, there are 2 nations in deep conflict, and it's the Israeli responsibility to develop the Palestinian people, which is a bit ironic. We think that it's our responsibility to say there is a new state that is going to come up and grow, and we need to bring foreign investment and let it come to a little bit higher level before we have a cooperation. We call it coexistence without cooperation. And the third thing is it needs to be profitable, and thus it will be sustainable. We believe that only through bringing businesses that will sustain and work from the area, we can change in the long term and actually bring a process of a new spirit to the area. I don't know if you know, but there are estimates that say that the Gaza Strip has received donations over $75,000 per person in the Gaza Strip, all from donations, and you ask yourself, where is it today? Because nothing has changed. We truly believe that if we bring businesses and creating the right incentives, we can change something there. So what do we actually propose? We propose an industrial zone, industrial park, that our first core business that we presented at the United Nations is a fish farm. And why do we go and we say, like, we want to start with a fish farm is they have ideal geographic conditions, being on the Mediterranean, powerful cultural value, the legacy of the Gazans, of the seafarer, and there's a compelling business opportunity. To speak about a little bit about the fish farming opportunity, we know that there is a strong market demand. Fish around the world are being exploited, fisheries are dying out, and in addition to that, there is a global growth in demand of 6 to 7% every year. And we know that just the countries around us, if you look on ourselves, Turkey, Greece, and the rest of the Mediterranean, these are cultures that are heavily reliant on seafood. And on the other hand, we have supply constraints. As we said, the fisheries that are being overexploited, and specifically to Gaza, that they cannot grow enough food or bring enough food in. These are some of the numbers that we presented. We don't need to go into the details. Basically, what we're saying is that a very large-scale fish farm doesn't cost that much, and we want this to be operated by the Palestinians, but high management of a foreign company that is well experienced in that.
So basically, our development plan includes 3 phases. The creation of fish farms is at the core, but it's not enough. Education is essential for the success of the fish farms, the industrial part of the region, and the people of Gaza. So we would like to promote the development by technical and professional training and teaching marketing and sales, advancing entrepreneurial initiatives, and nurturing the youth towards better opportunities, thus creating a successful future. In addition to the fish farms themselves, there will be a need for a processing plant to process, pack, and ready the products for shipment. There is also a need for fingerling hatchery, and additional opportunities will be created by ancillary businesses, since the fish farms will create demand for related products and services. And this development plan will create a ripple effect that will gradually transform the region. We anticipate that the successful implementation of this plan will serve as a model for additional businesses like textile, manufacturing, and even IT services. It will improve the unemployment and provide a better future for the Palestinians.
Okay, thanks a lot. So Greg, so at this stage we have to ask ourselves, well, we have this interesting business opportunity, but who would possibly pay for it? Well, based on the fact that there is a compelling business opportunity here, we think that there's quite a high chance of a French or Spanish or even Norwegian international fish farm company coming in to take an ownership stake in this project, actually investing their own money in this opportunity. As well as that, a key component of this project is Palestinian ownership. It's vital for the protection of the business as a whole. So how would that be manifested? Well, we'd see investment from Palestinian businessmen. We would see micro-investment whereby individual shares would be sold to Palestinian people. We'd also see a role for investment and the granting of equity to staff of the facilities as well. So a joint ownership between the international company and also the Palestinian staff. As for the education training centres, what do we pay for that? Well, we think there's a very strong case for this to be funded by